Good evening. It's great to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity to visit my hometown. At least on my envelope it says Apex. We do live out in the county, so taxes are a little bit lower out there. But my purpose in running again has basically been reflected in a lot of the sentiments we've heard out here today. I ran in 2008 against David Price. We got over 156,000 votes. We raised almost $600,000, not just locally, but from around the country, based upon a very simple premise. Our premise is that Washington should actually follow the rules for a change. We gave out 50,000 copies of our United States Constitution, which actually comes as a package deal bundled with the Declaration of Independence. If you're confused about the philosophical foundation of our country, you can read that as well. And that message resonates. And not only do you look at what's going on in Washington and think, gosh, I just don't understand how these numbers can work, and I don't understand why we can't figure out that you can't operate a country and a currency and a banking system when you're staring at $75 to $100 trillion in long-term liabilities for things like Medicare and Social Security. But you begin to realize that something is deeply and fundamentally wrong in Washington when you've got representatives, including our own David Price, who routinely votes in favor of legislation that he has not even read. Folks, I'm a physician by training, I'm a software entrepreneur by profession, and if I'm a physician and I'm signing off on stuff without even having read it, that's malpractice. We have legislative malpractice that's being practiced in Washington on a daily basis. And the good example, the great example that Gene illustrated here this evening, hey, we've got some changes to our rules, here they are, let's think about them, we'll vote on them next time. Why is it so hard for Congress to read the bills before they vote on them? This is common sense. So our message in 2010 in taking the fight back to David Price is the same as it was in 2008. Except 2 years later, people are a little bit smarter and a lot more angry. And that anger is something that we intend to channel into a knowledge that it is possible to get principled change in Washington. This is not something that Jolynn and I thought, my wife and I thought would come easy, because it was a really tough thing on the family and the kids 2 years ago. But honestly, we can't not do it. The stakes are too high. We are living economically through a slow-motion train wreck. And anyone who doesn't believe that Greece doesn't matter hasn't looked at the budget numbers for California or Illinois or New York. And who doesn't understand that we're borrowing in North Carolina 20% of our state budget to pay for unemployment insurance from the federal government. How's this going to end? So what's driving me into this race for Congress, and what I'm excited about, is telling people that yes, it is possible to build a better future for our children. And that comes from a return to traditional conservative Republican values. It's limited government. It's personal responsibility. It's a government that lives within its means and its constitutional mandate. Because I want to worry a lot more about what's going on in Raleigh than what's going on in Washington. Because that's the kind of government that our forefathers guaranteed or gave to us if we have the courage to take it back. So I appreciate your visiting our website, LawsonForCongress.com, and I appreciate the opportunity to come back to hopefully speak with you in more detail about some of the economic challenges and how we can get through those. And I ask for your support in November and in May. Thank you very much.